Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the TV6 Digital Desk live stream. My name is Molly Birch, and I'll be taking you through a recap of today's headlines. Get the right label in there for you this time. This stream runs every night starting at 8 to 7 Central Time from Sunday to Thursday. Feel free to comment and ask any questions you have in the chat as you feel like it, and I'll do my best to answer those questions as we go and after the stream as well. With all of that business out of the way, let's take a look at our first story for tonight. This weekend, a scheduled power outage is set for Saturday night in parts of Baraga County. The village of Lance says the outage is set for 8 p.m. Saturday to 7 a.m. Sunday. This is because the American Transmission Company needs to complete emergency repair work on a major electrical pole. UPCO says the repairs are on the high-voltage electric transmission system owned by ATC. The outage will affect customers on the municipally owned Lance system and about 400 UPCO customers. It will also impact Aura, Sweeney, Ziba, Herman, and possibly parts of Covington. It won't affect the village of Baraga. The Baraga County Sheriff's Office says people affected by this should take all measures to prepare for the outage. This includes charging phones, preparing alternate heat sources, and taking care of vulnerable community members. And take a look. This video is from around noon today on the Mackinac City side of the Mackinac Bridge. It was a tough day for drivers, and you can hardly see the bridge's towers. The Mackinac Bridge Authority issued a warning to drivers about limited visibility from blowing snow. And today, Michigan Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist was in Norway highlighting a new school program that provides students with a free meal. Gilchrist and Governor Whitmer recently implemented a free breakfast program for public schools in Michigan. Gilchrist made a stop at Norway Elementary School to see the program in action. The Lieutenant Governor says he's seen a significant increase in students getting breakfast since the program started.
Those are kids who are a whole lot less hungry when they start their school day. And I think that means they're going to be a better position to be able to pay attention and to be present and to learn and to grow and to have a good day. And so I think for a lot of communities in the UP, this is making a huge difference.
Gilchrist says he'll bring all he learned back down to Lansing. After stopping by Norway schools, Gilchrist went to Advanced Blending Solutions in Wallace to promote the Going Pro program. The Going Pro program is a bipartisan program to encourage employers to provide on-the-job training that results in industry-recognized certification. The recently introduced state budget includes $20 million to increase the program's funding.
The state of Michigan will help support you financially to provide that training to your people, because ultimately we want all of our Michiganders to have the kinds of credentials and certifications that they need to be able to take the next step in their career, whether it's within your company or in another industry at another Michigan company.
Gilchrist says lawmakers will continue to explore possible growth opportunities in the UP. And due to the mild winter, many parts of the season, like frost depth, are impacted. According to the National Weather Service, the frost depth usually sits around 6 to 7 feet below ground, but right now it's below that. The winter rate restrictions along roads in Marquette County will be temporarily lifted because of that reduced frost. A meteorologist for the NWS says frost can have an impact on many things in the UP.
Every year there's impacts of how the frost comes out of the ground in the springtime and how it affects roadways, thus the need for weight restrictions during the spring thaw. But as far as a concern level for infrastructure, water pipes, things like that, there really is no immediate concern for that to happen this winter.
Zika says because of the lack of frost, the spring thaw could have a lesser effect on roads. Iron Mountain's Kiwanis Ski Club is working around the clock to prepare for the 2024 Continental Cup. The club covered most of the ski jump in snow and will finish making snow by the 21st. Due to a lack of natural snow, the club will be using barrels to mark parking spaces. Kiwanis Ski Club Corresponding Secretary Susie Fox says attendees should take extra care in cleaning their tailgating spots.
We'd really appreciate if you're extra conscientious about your fires. Be sure they're put out at night and be sure they're contained, because we've got a lot of grass and it's a wildfire waiting to happen, so be very, very careful.
Jump side seats are being auctioned off on the Kiwanis Ski Club Facebook page, which can be found by going to uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. And this afternoon, an economic development agency in Marquette held an annual meeting to award 4 UP businesses for their successes. Operation Action UP had its 59th annual Award of Excellence. The 4 businesses to get this award were GuideStar, Cubic Aviation Services, Inc., Louisiana Pacific Building Solutions in Segola, and Orbian Space Technology. GuideStar's Senior Vice President tells us what it's like to win the award.
Sure. So, the award we won today was really an honor. At GuideStar, we do cybersecurity and IT support for small to medium businesses around the Midwest, but out of our 350 customers, half of them are in the UP.
TV6's Tristan Kendrick tells us how these 4 businesses say they benefit the UP in the full story. You can find that on our website. And we have a TV6 Investigates follow-up tonight to a story we first brought you a year ago. TV6's Ben Kouchnerkavich reported on deficient practices that led to the death of a resident at Mission Point in Ishpeming Township. Ben investigated again to tell us where things are at Mission Point now. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services has done follow-up reports on Mission Point in the past year, and some of these were routine and some of them were complaint revisits. While these latest inspections no longer found issues quite as serious as what we saw a year ago, staff shortages are still leading to problems.
It's now been more than a year since the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services issued a report detailing a resident's death at Mission Point in Ishpeming Township. CMS found the death of 61-year-old Richard Belmore was due to Mission Point staff failing to immediately start CPR and call 911. Belmore was a full code resident, meaning he required resuscitation through any means necessary. Due to this deficiency, CMS placed an immediate jeopardy designation on Mission Point in its January 18, 2023 review. This designation is reserved for noncompliance that puts residents of a facility at risk for serious injury, harm, impairment, or death. A licensed nurse was fired 4 weeks after Belmore's death, and Mission Point pledged to make sure employees got education on proper procedures. CMS did more reports on Mission Point in the past year and found no additional problems that met the criteria of an immediate jeopardy. But there are still deficiencies, particularly related to staffing. These staffing shortages rise above the issues reported at neighboring nursing homes. A January 2024 CMS survey listed a census of 44 residents at Mission Point in Ishpeming Township. The CMS report says one resident was seen in his room with food around him and tissues on the floor, while the garbage was filled with trash and a urinal in the room was filled with urine. The resident said staff don't answer the call light or help him when he needs it. In an interview, the resident said they need more help around here. Another resident also expressed concerns about call lights not being answered in enough time and said there wasn't enough staff to give her showers according to her schedule. She told CMS the facility was cutting staff and said there was only one nurse aide on duty on Christmas. A facility assessment says Mission Point in Ishpeming Township needs 10 to 14 CNAs working a day. A time clock punch detail report showed 4 CNAs worked Christmas Day, with only one CNA on the afternoon shift and one CNA on the night shift. A licensed practical nurse told CMS she worked 12-hour shifts once or twice a week. Due to staff shortages, Mission Point told CMS it was in the process of delicensing its beds from 63 to 39, with admissions temporarily on hold. Mission Point told CMS it's recruiting for this location on Indeed, LinkedIn, and Michigan Works. The facility told CMS it has a pickup bonus for current staff and is utilizing a floating pool of staff from Mission Point Corporate.
Ben emailed both the general counsel for Mission Point and Mission Point's general information address asking to do an interview for this follow-up story. He has not heard back. Finally tonight on the TV6 Digital Desk live stream, DeWash Laundromat in Iron River revealed a new hand-painted mural today. The mural takes inspiration from the Iron County landscape, depicting a sun setting on a forested valley. The business owners commissioned local artist Ashley Skolazinski to make the piece. Skolazinski says support from the Iron River community helped her reach her vision.
Everyone knows I do art around here. I've always been a drawer, so everyone knows I can do it. And I honestly amazed myself in this entire process. I didn't think I could turn this the way it did from my head.
Skolazinski finished the mural in almost 18 days. And that's all the stories we have for you tonight. Be sure to tune in on Sunday night, where I'll be here in the same place at the same time. That's 8/7 Central Time with a recap of Sunday's headlines. Don't forget you can find us streaming on Facebook or YouTube, whichever platform you'd prefer. And if you have a story idea you think we should report on, feel free to contact us at any time. These are a few easy ways to get a hold of both myself and others in the newsroom. And again, you can contact us at any time. We would love to hear from you and what's happening in your community. Thank you all again for joining me live at the TV6 Digital Desk. Have a great rest of your night and a great weekend.